Hey guys, my name is Ryan, and we're back again with another Spirit Island video. Today will be the third and last day that I examine the new Apocrypha spirit, Covet's Gleaming Shards of Earth. In the previous video, I mentioned how the spirit has tons of elements on its tracks, second only to Downpour. So I wanted to start today's video by examining the implications of that and see if we can get any kind of strategic insights. So Gleaming Shards has 7 total elements on its tracks, but Downpour has 9. The sole purpose of elements is to hit thresholds to improve the powers you play, as well as give you access to your innate powers. Some spirits like Downpour can use elements in other ways though. For Downpour, the water elements are a source of energy income, as well as repeats for land targeting power cards. Downpour has an inherently low energy and card play economy, which the water minigame is designed to solve. And both spirits have very elementally taxing innate powers because they have to compensate for all the free elements you gain just by growing. But there is one thing that is completely independent of the spirits, and that is major power thresholds. So I've organized all the major powers in the game based on their ease of thresholding. If we were to completely empty our presence tracks, how well can we hit any of the thresholds in the major deck? So with Downpour, if we were to completely clear the tracks, we would have 1 air, 6 waters, 1 earth, and 1 plant element. So let's take a look at the cards I've laid out. Starting up here in the corner, these 7 cards, if we were to have completely clear tracks, are automatically thresholded. Of course, one of them is Draw Toward the Consuming Void, which has no elemental restrictions, so maybe 6 would be more accurate. And of course, you could make an argument about Fire and Flood being only half thresholded, so let's call this 5.5 cards that we could threshold with no effort. This next group is cards that are just a single element away from being thresholded. So with Bargains, we need just another air, we need just another earth, plant, moon, and sun. So there's 6 cards in this category. Now, this group here also only requires a single element, except they require a single element of multiple different elements. And I think the natural comparison here would be Indomitable Claim versus Trees and Stone Speak of War. Both require a single sun in order to be thresholded. However, Indomitable Claim also requires an earth. One of Downpour's unique starting cards is Gift of Abundance. This is the only sun that we have access to in our starting kit. So with just 2 card plays, you could do Gift of Abundance and Trees and Stone Speak of War, and that would be properly thresholded. However, there is no single card in our base kit which will allow us to fully threshold Indomitable Claim. So being restricted to 2 elements, or with some of these even more than 2 elements as required on a single card, that's going to be really hard for us to hit, relatively speaking. There are 38 minor powers that have sun, but only 12 that have both sun and earth. This next and largest category is major powers that require all 3 of our card plays to be invested in order for us to hit the threshold. So we could take a look at any one of these, and we can see that this requires 3 suns. We've already talked about how when there's only 2, that requires the extra card play. To get that third, we require yet another. And then this last category is major powers that we actually cannot threshold at all. All of these cards have 4 of an element that we do not get on our presence track. So even if we invested all of our card plays and we had completely cleared our tracks, we would still be an element short to hit any one of these cards. That means, since there's 7 cards in this category, and 7 or maybe 5.5 cards in this category, it is equal or more likely that a random major power that we flip over is not going to be thresholdable at all, as opposed to one that we get for completely free. So let's do that same analysis with Gleaming Shards. If we were to completely empty these presence tracks, we would get 1 sun, 2 fire, 1 air, 1 earth, and 2 animals. So let's see how that plays out with the majors. Once again, we have 7 cards that are fully thresholded. Of course, once again, draw towards a consuming void is here, and this time we get the fire half instead of the water half of fire and flood. So we're once again looking at about 5.5 majors that are fully covered. Now, what's really interesting here is that with just one element, there are 24 cards that we can threshold. That is significantly more than we had for Downpour. And then for one card play, meaning one element, each of multiple different types, there are 14 cards. And then if we consume all of our card plays, there are another 27 cards. In this last section we have over here, there are 6 cards that simply cannot be thresholded at all. Interesting to point out that Terrifying Nightmares and Great Hatred exist in both groups for both spirits. I know we are most devastated by not being able to play Grant Hatred. Now, with Gleaming Shards, there is the important caveat that we do have the ability to gain extra free elements right here. We can convert our treasure into just a permanent element. So all of this analysis assumes that we never did that at any point. I would say that this free element is probably the weakest way that we can use a treasure. It's competing with these guys here. But the way I've been playing them, I feel like picking up the extra abilities and the extra innate powers is just more valuable than picking up a single element. This chart graphically represents those numbers I just ran through. When the curve is closer to the left, that is better for the spirit. So we can see that despite having fewer total elements, Gleaming Shards actually has a great advantage here. But why? Well, if you take your time to look through all the majors in the game, you will see that there is no card in the game which requires more than 4 of a single element to be thresholded. And every major provides its own necessary elements, so functionally, we need at most 3 more elements of a single type to threshold any major in the game. Downpour does have 9 total elements, but as we can see, 6 of them are water. 3 of those elements are going to be useless, so functionally, we really only have 6 usable elements. Whereas if we take a look at Gleaming Shards, we don't have too many in any one category, so all 7 are still useful. Additionally, these 7 are spread across 5 different types, whereas Downpours are spread across just 4. So that means we're going to have more universal value coming out of these. A wider variety of cards are going to be thresholded or very close to be thresholded, whereas Downpour has a much more narrow approach. So what's the point of all this? Well, this exercise has made it clear to me that we're definitely a major slinging spirit. I like to play by intuition and not analytically as much as I can, and until I went through this exercise, I didn't know how to articulate how much more consistent major power builds felt relative to minor power ones. In my mind, the opposite should be true, because that's the case for basically every other spirit in the game. But with all these free elements, as well as if we were playing a multiplayer game, we could receive a bunch of free energy from our petition support card, majors suddenly become a lot easier to use and a lot more reliable to threshold. So with that new mental framework, let's play a game. I'll be taking on England 5 today. You know, it's pretty convenient that we're good at going into majors since we're playing against England and they tend to require majors to deal with them. So let's see how we do. We're on board E. Interesting. So we start in the land with either mountains or blight. This gives me adjacency to everything except for these back 2. This gives me adjacency to everything except for 3. So I think land number 5 is the answer. And we will start by exploring the wetlands. Okay. If we can pick up any kind of... like the classic thing with board E is that, you know, if you can just deal with 7 and 4, then 6 and 8 are just pocketed for the whole game. And then you really shrink the board down. So it's unfortunate that we started with the wetlands because like one cool thing, like had we started with mountains, you could do something really cute and start with like the push card, push this guy out, and then immediately pocket back here. But alas, this ain't easy street. Let's start by gaining a miner and see what we get. Ooh, Quicken. I like Quicken quite a bit. Being able to just defend everything. Gold's Allure is also interesting. It just straight up solves the 4. These other cards are a lot less exciting in general. 2 damage is insufficient at doing anything against England. And I feel like Call to Bloodshed's just always just a little underwhelming. It's hard to say no to an on-element defend 10, especially when we have relatively easy targeting with such a mobile Incarna. So I'm going to pick up this Quicken the Earth Struggle. I'm going to grow out this way. And, well, let's see. How do we get into that land? Oh, we can just drop a steel. We drop a steel that moves in, and maybe. But we're just going to do our push power to make sure we don't take a Blight Cascade. Okay, let's find some steel. Golly. Yeah, that's tricky. How are we going to get that extra movement? We might need to G3 again to quicken, to drop a presence, so we can keep on moving our Incarna in. As far as adding the steel right now, so if we do that, we need to add steel here so we can move in. No, we don't, because we could be like out here adding steel. This will build. We add steel, move, and then for quicken, we move again. Okay, so I'll add steel out here, moving him for kicks and giggles. Event. Get to skip this one. And then we build. Exploring the Sands. The other one that we would love to be able to pocket. Looks like we get a no free roll pocket game today. Here, we just get to do a simple push. Time passes. Okay, so if we're going to do this quicken, I think we have to G3 again in order to add a presence here for that targeting purpose. So do we just go for a major immediately, considering like some of these cards are like really sad? We might. I'm just going to go for another minor just to not be too crazy. And, ooh, picking up a defend 5 gets the same job done as quicken. The only problem is that then we would not be able to gain a steal. And by doing this path, we do get 1 steal, that's 1 augment, and that, you know, you really need that early steal to keep the ball rolling. Not saying I don't like this card, because we can then use it right here and solve this land, get it protected, and I don't know, maybe we can grab more Dahan and bring that in. All these other ones, frankly, don't look that good. So we'll do this, and I'm not sure if it makes a difference if I go top or bottom here. I guess because this is a choice, and we don't really have an incentive to go either way, let's just not do that yet. Okay, fast phase. We will find steel here, bringing this in for targeting. Then we will quicken, bringing you in for targeting. Defend for 10. Okay, event. Add a city to a coastal land with city. Yikes. Add a disease to the coastal land with the most buildings, and then kill Dahan. So, yeah, we could have added the city here, but I think we want to hold on to our Dahan since we just picked up 2 defend powers. Push a presence from a land with Dahan, and do 2 damage in the land push to. Oh, yes! We can push this, kill this, and now there's only, after the Ravage, there's only going to be 1 adjacent building, and so that with the domesticated animals we actually have a really nice starter. Fantastic. Really, really happy with this event. So build, ravage, and then build. Excellent, excellent. Exploring the mountains. Okay. We have nothing in the slow, but we can jump you all the way back and cash in our first medal. What do we want here? Air will give us the most amount of immediate power. Being able to do a push. We could like push this town out. Keep this land a little bit easier to solve. We could actually also... I mean, this land's not going to build because we only have one adjacent building, so that event is really paying dividends. We don't have any inherent Dahan movement, do we? That's unfortunate. Yeah, I don't think anything we get this turn is going to be particularly sexy, but we'll just set ourselves up for the future. So we get bonus damage, we get better push, or we get the Ravage skip. The Ravage skip is one that I always think is very interesting. Of course, we did pick up 2 defends, so I'm not sure how necessary it is. I think... And we don't even know if we're going to be getting any push powers. Like, without the air... And the air is fine by itself, but the water without the air is, like, really sad. We have 1 push power. I think we're just going to pick up this animal, because it's something that we're really going to want over the course of the game. Like, this Melt Earth the Slag is good at dealing 2 damage, but now we can deal 3 with it. So it gives us much more immediate value. Okay. Fantastic. So for my next trick, I think we go Domesticated Animals, solving land number 1 by defending it. And then we want to set ourselves up for something more proactive. So maybe we do this Melt Earth in order to pick up a town like here. We could do that. And then if we do all that, let's see, elementally, we would have to go here. Does a fire or an animal make a difference? I don't think it does. I'd probably go for the animal in that situation, because I think these powers are going to be more important than this power against England. And then probably look to pick up a major on the next turn, going up to 3 energy, and then forget this Melt Earth, because it, as good as it is, it's not. Yeah, if we picked up a fire, that doesn't make a difference. That gives us access to the 1 damage here. Does it? No, it doesn't. We already have access to the 1 damage. We need another Earth. So yeah, I think this will be the way that I grow. Yeah, I could pick up a major right now, but then I'd have to forget one of these cards immediately. Maybe I forget this guy immediately. I think I'm happy enough with what we have, and we can just go with this. So we place 1 at the Incarnate, 1 at range 1. Fear, defend 5. And then we get to find a steal immediately. In a way that we want to use this Melt Earth, I could put it on the city. Of course, I could also just use my Melt Earth right here and pick up the 2 steal, just for greater aggregate value. But if I pick up the 1 steal and I pick up an Earth, then I can skip the Ravage in 5, maybe take 1 Blight, maybe just ignore it, and then just focus on scaling up and dealing with other problems. Yeah, I think this has a higher potential. If we kill this, pick up the Earth, and then this land is just solved straight up. Even if we don't solve it, we probably just continue with our game plan drafting, but it gives us a much more free situation. Okay, event. Ooh, gaining a free power card. I think I'm fine with that. So we can forget you. Or sacrifice you, and I'll sacrifice you. Oh, man. We're going to take a double build here. That's unfortunate because of the irregular outbreaks. Okay, we're going to gain a power card. We'll just gain one more miner. Interesting. Blight removal is one of those things I do like against England because it just helps you kill time. Of course, we're going to be taking Blight in a mountain. And we have one in the wetlands. And those are the two terrains that Renewing Rain does not solve. So this actually has no value for us in the short term. Isolating lands is pretty exciting against England, being able to hold on to this pocket a little bit longer. We can even get the fear by isolating land number 7. Actually, we can't because it's wetlands or sand. So we could isolate out the 4, and as long as Jungles isn't the next card, then that'll, be pretty sweet. Raw Fear, Pact of the Joint Hunt's pretty trash. It at least gets us some amount of Dahan movement, a tiny amount of Dahan movement. And we do have the bonus damage because of the animal. Maybe this one isn't as terrible, since we are on double defend. Yeah, maybe that's not as bad. So, Pact of the Joint Hunt. I think everything else is kind of mid. Not saying that this is good, but... Also, just getting a 0 cost just to, be able to afford majors is interesting. A 0 cost with Earth allows us to keep on picking up steel, even in situations where the major does not have Earth. Maybe that's better. Let's go here. Okay, we get 1 fear because there is a disease on the board. And then Dahan provides free defense. So we will build no 2 adjacent buildings. Ravaging. I think we're going to be killing this in the slow no matter what. If we do pick up a fire off of that augment, then we could kill the city. And I think hedging and picking up the explorer doesn't do anything for us. Okay, let's... disease doesn't prevent anything, so we'll build. And then we'll explore the coast. Okay. So we will use this Melt Earth. We get a fear, a damage, +1 because there's a steal, +1 for the treasure. Get to kill this, and we cash it in immediately. We prefer Earth. Fire is a decent secondary. But we have Earth. Fantastic. So now, this land is not going to ravage. We can take 1 blight and just focus on scaling up. Time passes. Okay, so land number 2 is going to be a problem, right? It is building. It's going to be building as both a mountain and a coast over the next several turns, and it's our escalation land. So we have to pick up a major with the primary goal of just solving that 1 land. And Vigor of the Breaking Dawn is a very good card, in case you weren't aware. We could play it. Let's see. If I pick up the sun, then it's basically thresholded for free. All we need is a single sun in order to fully threshold it, which we have favors. That's a 4 cost 4. We're gaining 2 for the turn. We have the 6, go down to 2, reclaim, go down to 0. So we can Vigor and favors 2 turns in a row. Vigor of the Breaking Dawn is, and also we have the bonus damage too, so you can't forget about that. That's a very, very strong line. I'd probably use it immediately, just kind of bringing these together, and then go here to here, or maybe go here to here. There's a lot of different ways to use this Vigor repeatedly over the course of the game. Venomous Spiders, though, it's an action skip. We've already unlocked 2 elements to threshold it. So all we need is a single earth, single animal to threshold it, which we, also have Favors of Steel and Bone. That is very compelling, because we could just play those 2 cards right now, and we know we're going to get 2 triggers off of it. We can only skip 1 action, So we would skip the Ravage because the build is already stopped by the disease. Ravage skip? Oh man. Venomous Spiders is so strong. And also the benefit of going for Venomous Spiders as opposed to Vigor is it allows us to pick up this extra energy. Which just, it costs an extra energy, but then we gain an extra energy right here. So it's actually net neutral on economy. Bargains of Power and Protection. Very interesting card. Let's see. We do have this. We're 1 water short of being able to threshold it. If we could threshold it, though, mamma mia, that would just start proliferating all over. And that's going to be too expensive. And without the 4 waters, we're not going to be able to make effective headwinds. So yeah, it's definitely between Vigor and Infestation. And I feel like both of these, there's a really compelling argument for. Golly. I wonder, if we take Vigor, do we even need to play it this turn? What if we played Petition and Sucking Ooze? Okay, alright, we're going to do this and that. Because these are the 2 choices. So let's just say we did this turn. And I guess we could do that for either one of these, right? Because they both threshold by pairing here. So we will go here, get ourselves up to a ton of energy. And what would we do? We'd probably isolate here to prevent this build. And that's good. That's a very good thing to do. And then we just pick up another minor power. Maybe we spend the extra energy just to put another card into play that has some kind of activity and hope to hit something. But actually, with this line, we're not going to be picking up any steel.
A few moments later.
So I was really hemming and hawing about the different ways that I could play this turn. And at the end of the day, we're going to go ahead with this Infestation. And the simple reason is that it's better at solving E2. Vigor can do all kinds of funny things and solve everything besides the most dangerous land on the board. And so it means that we could do all kinds of funny stuff and then still just lose in E2. And that might not be too exciting. Now, also, Infestation, after solving E2, E1 is likely to become the next really big threat. And it's great because we could just then target E1 afterwards whenever that Sands card comes up in the stage 2 and get plenty of value from the adjacent beasts that are going to be created in E2. So for all of those reasons, we're going to forget Vigor. We're going to take this presence off of the top track, gaining our 3 energy. We have to forget a card, and it will be this Melt Earth to Slag. It's too expensive and doesn't do enough for us. And we can then add this presence. We have to create a sacred site. I'm going to go right here in the sands. We're going to play Infestation and Favors. That way we can threshold it. We need it for the earth and the animal. And now we can head into the fast phase. So we can find some steel. We can do it fast, but we're planning on killing off this city in the invader phase. So we will target that, bring in our Incarnate in, and then we'll produce a beast, get a fear, and we will get 1 skip in this land. Also, we can get a fear, and we can... Oh, actually, I don't bring my Incarnate in because we need it for the Ravage skip here. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Need it for the Ravage skip there, so we'll leave our Incarna behind. So we have to go on a bit of a mission to collect that steel, but that's fine. We'll figure it out. And we will get our fear and protect the Dahan in this land. All right, Invader Phase event. Stage 2. 2 towns turns into half turns into cities. That changes the math a little, not too much actually. Disease and Strife skip Ravage actions. Fantastic. So now we can use this to skip the build action and save the disease. Push 2 Dahan from land with city to land without city. Unfortunately, we can't activate it twice and really peril these guys up. I would love to bring this Dahan this way, so that way we could, possibly do some defense shenanigans, but we're going to go here. Keep them teamed up as much as we can. Skip all explore actions and land with 2 explorers. Okay, that'll protect us in 50% of the potential options. So we will build, and that can go away. We'll build here. Okay, this does not participate, and this got stricken, so there's no Ravage. And then we build in the coast, going sands, jungles, and then this one's going to get skipped, which will do 5 damage, killing here. And that means that this is actually going to be our escalation land now. That was a bit of a miscalculation. We explore the wetlands. We do not explore here because there are 2 explorers there already. Okay. Escalating here. So actually, we're probably going to get our repeat of the major in this land, but we get 2 action skips. We might not cash in on both of them. I'll have to check the rules if the escalation is something that is skippable with infestation. I think you can for England because it creates a build action, which is an invader action. So I do think we get to skip twice. So we can skip Ravage and we can skip escalation. Going into the slow phase, we have no slow powers available. Okay. We can reclaim, gain our 3 energy, and I think we're just going to stick with a miner for now. We have a pretty good setup. Okay, so we've got this infestation, and we need Earth Animal in order to threshold it. So this Quicken the Earth struggle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We could bring the Incarnate in somehow. We could bring the Incarnate in, have 2 things of like that not participate, 10 damage. That would be interesting with this Quicken. With favors, we could, I don't know, protect one of the Dahan here, which wouldn't make a difference. Because that's going to be dealing 3 damage, and then that's going to counterattack and clear. Of these cards, we do have a range 1 defend, which will be useful up here, because that's about to build in Ravage, so that would solve that wetlands. And we could do that while G2ing, where we wouldn't be forced to commit to a G3 to use our domesticated animals. So that's definitely worth considering. Constancy is normally amazing. With only 2 card plays, it's less amazing. This doesn't do anything, that doesn't do anything. Yeah, okay, let's just take the defend. If we go here. Well, if we use infestation, we could infestation here and defend this. That way, this would kill 2 cities. And over here, we could bring our Incarnate in. That would be fully defended. And then we would just take 1 blight. That's fine. That way, going into this next turn, there's a 1 in 3 chance of us having sands. And we kind of want sands, because we could... No, we don't have the energy to reclaim it one more time. Do we care about Blight? is the question. Maybe we just take one of these. And, well, I guess there's no opportunity cost to playing Quicken because we need to play an earth animal in order to threshold. Well, I guess the opportunity cost is we could play this card instead, which would then push this guy out or push this city. If we push this city, then we can bring our Incarna in and protect it, and this land can be defended. And that would save a Cascade, but at the cost of a Blight. I think that's fine. And then if we take a Blight here, we lose a Dahan and a Presence, as opposed to getting 2 guaranteed triggers and being able to bring our Incarna in to pick that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That goes up to 6. If we do that line, then we absolutely have to skip this, which we don't have the energy for. Therefore, I think we have to use our skip here in E. Okay. I think we do this. And we can add a steal, but there's no other modifiers to it. Can't target these lands. So I'll just put the steal here. And then we can do Venomous Spiders going here and here. Did I ever add the fear that like way back last turn in the fast phase? We had 2 fast fear. Which I think would have been 1 for this card and then 1 for this card. So I think we're fine. 2 fear, 2 skips. And I think I want to bring my Incarna in to collect this steal after that dies. Okay. Come on, Stricken 2. Event. New species spread. We have no moons. This petition sucks, so we can just forget it. And that will give us a fear and a beast. That beast is very nice for our infestation of venomous spiders. I'll just put this here so that way whichever one comes up soon we can use. Add a disease to allow both Dahan and invaders. Kill a Dahan there. So we can kill a Dahan here or kill a Dahan here. We're certainly going to go in the sands since we need all these Dahan. Terror level 1, we get to isolate a land. Ooh. 100% going here. Add a strife into a different land with at least 2 invaders. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, we get to build. We get to ravage. 1 damage here, and then this dies. This will take a blight. This one will skip, dealing 5 damage because of our bonus damage from our Incarna sourcing. We get to collect the steel. Then we get to build. That is isolated, so it is not adjacent to 2 buildings. And we can explore the jungles. And do we get to... I think we get to skip this invader action, dealing the damage. And if we already did the extra damage earlier, I believe we do not get the extra damage again. And so, therefore, that's how it would play out. Okay. I will return my presence to cash in the 2 Incarna, or 2 steel, I'm sorry. Return the Incarna, cash in the 2 steel, get ourselves a treasure. Air is primed and ready to go. But water wouldn't be so bad right now either, since we have a push power. And instead, we get a couple great options. But I think air with the double push is going to be the ticket. Because we could double push this out, or we could double push here. We could probably double push here, single push here. Bringing our Incarna in here so that we skips that Ravage. That would not Ravage, and we'll be sitting pretty. So air it is. Okay, we'll use our air. Bring our Incarna in, and we will go push, push, and then we will push. We want to make that our stacked land. Because, let's see, if we go here, then that means it has to escalate. But we know this last card's either going to be mountain or sand, so either way, we're going to be getting a lot of use out of our skip. Let's hedge. Just stack that up. And there was no steal, so there's no fear. Okay. Time passes. Okay, so looking ahead to the jungle, that's not very threatening at all. That's going to double build, but honestly, we might just find a way to set it up with like a Quicken or something, and that'll be perfectly fine. We have the free air here, so pretty much with anything, we're guaranteed to get the town push. So that's going to solve this jungle. So we can really just play proactively here. We're not forced to play any cards this turn. Next turn, we're just going to play a Quicken. This seems like the situation where you could just go for another major and just kind of like put cards like Sucking Ooze on the table. Yeah. If we go for another major, there's no obvious thing to forget anymore. Maybe this single push. That probably loses a lot of value. Or maybe we just double grow just to like chuck presents onto the table when we have the opportunity. I feel like this 5 energy is going to be important since we might just find ourselves into a reclaim loop with this 5-cost combo. So we could do something like this and make ourselves just kind of put cards on the table. Here and here, perhaps. That gives us the push that we need with those elements. Well, we have the... Actually, hold on. We just have the elements for free for that push all the time. This is a great pickup. That's so free. The other one would be if we were to pick up Sun instead of the push the Incarna, which would then give us this permanently unlocked. This turn, are we picking up any way of getting here? It does not appear so. So I guess the Sun doesn't really do anything right now. We'll just go here. Then we could then G3 into a major into the 5. I think that's the best way to go. So 1 at the Incarna, 1 at range 1 from the lair. We can G3 for the Sacred Site to take care of that. Gain and pay. We'll just... I guess this card doesn't do anything. Why are we even playing it? If it doesn't do anything. Just spending the energy for fun? There is no way to use that for fear. I guess... Do we just not play this card? Or, since we only took it for this, maybe we gain a major now, and then, since we're also not going to use that Incarna push, maybe we grow like so, and then we gain a major for getting this elusive ambush. So, let's see. Unpay, ungain. Go up to 1 energy, gain a major. This one's one of those that's hard to threshold. This one's hard to threshold. None of these are great. Terrifying Nightmares. I don't think that does what we need because we already have a ton of push powers. I guess Jungle Hungers is solid enough. And in fact, we could just play it this turn because we're being on 3 energy. And... do we just grow into this land? And then kill all these towns? Maybe eventually. But for now, we can just grow here and kill 2 towns, which is fine value. Forgetting Elusive Ambush. Playing this. Okay. Let's pick up 2 Fear and isolate you. Okay. And we get to find some steel. I guess we'll go right here. Okay. Event. Hey, did we just forget that card immediately? We do have this. That's not going to be a thing. I think we just gain the energy. I find the top of this one to not be so bad. So we can gain energy, and then the animal means that we destroy a Dahan in a land with Blight, which doesn't even happen. So literally it's just a free energy. It's not so bad. Push a beast to a land with no buildings, and then get a fear if explorers are present. Hey. That's a fear card. And it's terror level 2, so it's like actually a good fear card too. Gather 1 or 2 Dahan to a land with Dahan set up symbols. Oh, there's no adjacent ones. Then what do we do? We just send this one out by itself? I think so, because we're planning on defending this land, so we actually want to use that counterattack. Terror level 2, we get a bunch of free defense. Move an explorer and a town from a beast or an explorer from a land adjacent to beast. Well, certainly getting the explorer and the town is better value. So that would be here, trying to set up a cute jungle hungers right there. Okay, let's build. Boom, boom, and you. Let's ravage, does not participate. Let's build. And exploring the mountains. And we escalate here. All right. So this is not going to be a threat for 2 turns. Even if this comes up as sands, it'll build up to 6 and before it ravages. So that gives us plenty of time to do some jungle hungers cuteness. Going into the slow, we have a push and we have a jungle hungers. Jungle hungers does kill Dahan, which makes that really sad. But it's certainly the best way to play it. Unless, well actually no, I can move my Incarna for targeting purposes, right? So I can, so I'll move my Incarna, do a push here, and then just target this with jungle hungers. Yeah, and just pick up a whole fear card off of 4 of those guys. Yeah, that's sweet. Time passes. So all we have to do is G2, pick up our 5 energy. We can quicken, and we can... I guess we can use this to pick up some free fear here. Boom, boom. Gain some energy. And now we're sitting in a very strong position. Plenty of energy. We can defend you for 10. We can protect this Dahan over here. Oh, during the spear phase, I could have moved my Incarna. Could I have... Once per turn, you may add or move directly to the layer. But does that have a timing restriction? Could I do this during the spirit phase, move this out during that spirit phase to pick up these 2 steel, and then when I target this land, bring it back and then unlock my next treasure? I feel like the answer should be yes, so I'm going to do it. It doesn't say no. And there's nothing that says that a dog can't play basketball. So what do we want here? Sun, getting that economy, because now it's going to be a lot harder to get stuff. Or I guess a free element. Yeah, if I get a plant, I'm just gonna take the element. Let's see, we get sun, moon, air. So we'll take the sun. Okay. Fast phase, we did all those things to get my Incarna back here. So now we move on. Event. Add a town to a land with explorer or town. Let's see. Over here's a less threatening land. It's an inactive land, kind of small. Disease to a sands or mountains with the most buildings. We get a free disease here. And then we gain an energy because of those 2 to haunt. So now we're very energy rich. Move an explorer town from land with 2 or fewer invaders. Not a lot of targets. We'll take away that town we just had to add. Okay, let's build the wetlands. And ooh, that's a great event for us. Or sorry, great fear card that once again protects that. 1 damage. Over here it's defended, so we can kill that city. Building the mountains. And exploring the sands wetlands. Okay. In the slow phase, we can find a steal and we can do a town push. We don't have that water augment, so we can't do anything else. I feel like we're just going to skip this one. Skip the Ravage. 60% chance of triggering again on the Explore. So I will push this guy here. Right, because let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on that build. 9, 10, 11, 12. On the next time that it comes up on the stage 3. So therefore, I'll push it out this way. That way, it explores, it builds, explores, builds. That puts me at 10. Therefore, this land is solved whenever it comes up. 60% chance, by the way. But when we did that, we probably should have just put a steal on it too. Just so that way we can cash in that steal immediately. Well, we can't cash it in, but I believe our next one costs 3. So a 1 plus a 2 from a city will get us our next thing. Okay. Interestingly enough, we can't quicken this land because we don't have 2 presents. So we're going to reclaim. Definitely going to play Venomous Spiders. We're going to be up to 11 energies. We could just go for double major. I mean, is Jungle Hungers really going to be the card that wins it for us? The answer is no. It's so maybe we just pull anything and just forget Jungle Hungers. Rust and Atrophy we will not be able to get because of the water issue. We've got the other ones covered. Savage Transformation, best card in the game, as we all know. The Moon is going to create trouble for... Yeah, none of these are thresholdable this turn. Is T-Sack something worth going for? I'm inclined to say no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We already got some targeting restrictions. This Tiger's Hunting can lean into the whole beast stuff. Yeah, we could use Tiger's Hunting to, like, kill this town. And just make this land easier to deal with. We can push the town out. It's cheap. Yeah, gets fear. Really pushing... We need to be able to push the fear deck. So, I think that is a pretty decent setup. Leaves plenty of energy for more activity. Okay, so... Oh man, I didn't even consider my elements. Yeah, I needed that animal, which means that of the choices, if I wanted to go double major, I guess just T-Sack wasn't in it. And yeah, we're not going to do Savage Transformation. Let's be real. The Defense 6 is interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It would solve this land, but we can afford a Blight. So, we'll go here. Okay, we're going to add a beast, gather a beast, 3 fear, and 3 skips. There's no way we're going to use all of them, right? Only if it explores. We get that extra fear. Here, we'll get 2 fear, add a beast, gather a beast. And then 1 damage per beast. Killing a town. And we get to push these beasts out. So we'll go here and here. Hopefully we get some kind of a beast event. Do we want to have our Incarna move around for any of that junk? Yeah, I think we want to bring our Incarna in here for when we did this targeting, and then find Steel, which I guess, even with that order of operations, we're perfectly fine on. So that completely concedes a Blight and losing a Dahan. However, that's totally fine. We have more than enough Blight in the pool, and this will get me another Augment. Event. 2 or more a town. Push a town to a land without a town. No! 1 fear per board with disease. Do we spend all our diseases? Yes, we did. We got a few free ones, though, which was nice. First strike on the... yeah, there you go. We get to pick up an Explorer for free. Yay, us. Terra level 2. Gather an Explorer town into a coastal land. Defend 2 in all coastal lands. It doesn't change too much. Doesn't change too much, I don't think. Yeah, the defend 2 isn't going to do anything. Moving stuff around. Is that going to do something better for us? But our plan is just to defend this for 10 whenever it comes up next. So we don't want to mess with that. I think we just don't use this ability. Defend 6 on the coastal lands and skip coastal builds that would add a city. Thank you. I guess we could have gotten away with that now with the power of hindsight. Okay, so build does not build, but this one does. Ravage. So that goes there. 5 damage. Let's stack you up. Go here with a Blight. Build. Here and here. And explore the jungle sands. Okay. Alright, we get those back-to-back sands. If we reclaim, we go up to 10 energy. Do we just reclaim loop this now? Because if we reclaim, right, we get the double skip here. We can Tiger's Hunting to clear this. So we're looking at 1, 2 lands that are ravaging. As opposed to... we get a double push, and we do get to find some steel. If we augment... don't find anything here. I am 2 elements away from Tiger's Hunting. That is going to be a really good threshold for us. If we cash in the augment, I could double push this. Double push this. I think we probably are flipping the Blight card anyways. And we only have a few turns left to get a lot of fear. I think we bring this in right now and cash it in. And let's just see what we have to work with. I think I really want that blue now. Don't get it. So moon would probably just turn into an element. Air could only be an element in... okay, so we're probably picking up an element here. Yeah, it looks like we're going moon now. Because now if we grow here, we are thresholding Tiger's Hunting. So you go there. So yes, we get a double push and we get to find some steel. Cannot push cities. So we could double push this. If we get our Incarna here, this land will not Blight Cascade. We'd be looking at 1 Blight for the turn. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll double push, bringing this in for targeting purposes. And in fact, we probably should have just put a steel on one of those while we were at it. Just picking up that free steel. Okay. If I reclaim right now and play those cards again, we take 1 Blight. Deal with both of these. Okay, we have our Quicken to solve this. We're looking at a real threatening, 1 threatening land. This is going to be triple skipped, so even if it explores, this is going to end up completely solved. It will build, but... Okay. Yeah, I think we reclaim. And I think we gain a major, so that way we can go for another double major turn. Hope we want to try and keep growing if we can, right? So we do this. Ooh, this one with just 1 more element. Oh, we need to pick up some fires, but this is in the list of ones that we can threshold for free. And it's probably our best one here, especially with all the energy surplus that we have. Gonna forget you, because you're just straight up an innate power now. Yeah, so I think we just go here and here. It produces a lot of fear in the fast phase, gets us over to Terra level 3. Okay, Infestation. Going to add a beast. Gather a beast. Or if we do Tiger's Hunting first... Yeah, we do Tiger's Hunting first, right? So we get 2 fear. Add a beast, gather a beast. 1 damage per beast, and then we get to push 2. So we could push these 2 this way. Then we do Venomous Spiders, so we can add a beast, gather a beast, and then get 1 additional fear. And, I mean, the extra skip isn't going to matter, but it's the extra fear that we're min-maxing on. Okay. If we do all of that... we need to keep this guy here the whole time, but we will find steel here. Just to put something on the table. Do I want to do that in the slow phase? Yeah, it's gonna die, it's gonna drop. We don't really have a way of getting into that land to collect it afterwards. So, I mean, maybe we go here on the city. Yeah, we don't gain any benefit from doing it now, besides the fact that it drops immediately. I think the fact that it drops is worth it. Event. During the next Ravage action, increase damage due to the land by the current invader stage. Damn! Isolate a land with beast. 1 fear if invaders are present. Great. Let's ISO... Oh, we don't get the free to Han either. Rip. So I guess I don't think the ISO is going to matter, but we'll ISO you. Really get you locked down. Okay, so we need to find a way to get rid of a single Explorer. So that way we don't... Actually, it only affects once per board. Alright, sick. We'll go here. Alright, we're good. Terra level 3. Remove an Explorer town from any land or remove a city from a conditional land. So yeah, so this land's good. Since we got the back-to-back sands, I think we just go here. Skip the next Explorer, but reveal a card. Excellent. Alright, so we'll build and build a city. Okay, Ravage does not participate. Gets skipped, dealing some damage. That will die. And this will Blight. Let's see our Blight card on turn 9. Jesus, turn 9? Wow. and that's largely irrelevant. Sacrificing presence doesn't really matter for us. Skip the explore, and we move on. So now we have the back-to-back wetlands. Isolate here, super valuable. Hey, what do you know? Okay, going into the slow phase. We can find steel and we can do a push. Perhaps we find steel here just so that we can collect that steel and get another augment. I think that's the play. So we find a steel here, bringing this Incarna in, collecting these two. We bring this in, caching the 3 in. 1, 2, 3. Right? Yeah, 3. And now we want a water, once again, to improve this. Missed again. And all we're looking at is extra energy off of G3 or a free element. We don't really need these elements. That's not the stuff that we're struggling with right now. The earth might be worth going for. Right, so what are we playing next turn? Hold on a second. It Ravage skipped? And did we do a build skip too? Crap, what was in that land? During the invader phase. 2 fear from destroying. So we destroyed a city. Well, at this point, if we did destroy it, then we would not have been able to do that whole play. So we have to, because now we have gained information that we did not previously have access to, we have to miss that trigger. Okay, that's obligatory. So, all of a sudden, now that puts us in... We're definitely going to play, like, either Quicken or Domesticated Animals for here. Maybe we go Domestic... Maybe we Quicken this land, because it's going to build up to 7 damage, and we can Domesticate it here. We definitely want to be doing things that are more proactive. Just this slow defense ain't it. But either way, this gives us plenty of animal. We get the earth. We don't really want another moon. Let's just pick up the earth. Gives us a little more flexibility on our... Because everything that we use costs earth, right? And in fact, if we get quad earth, we can get extra steel. So that's fine by me. All we have left is this double push. Oh, the double push can just solve this. Straight out. Another option is we could just ISO this land and push this stuff out. Yeah, this takes less actions to solve it. So we will go into this wetlands. Double push. Time passes. Okay. So we can just use our free Incarna push to go here and prevent that cascade. And that's pretty easy. So I think, yeah, just want to keep on slinging some majors. So let's gain an energy, gain a major. We just need some bada booms, really. Let's see. If we pick up Forest of Living Obsidian, and we combine it with this Unleash a Torrent, grow here. That's 1, 2, 3 fire. We'll have the 2 suns. We have the free earth with this earth. So this gets fully thresholded. That is exciting. But nowhere too sexy to use that full threshold. I mean, this will be fully thresholded too, which is good. Oh, this is going to build before it ravages. So that's not fully solved. Gee dang. So maybe we don't use our free Incarna push yet. let's see. Let's see. 1, 2. We could go here and threshold sweep into the sea. Go here into here. That would kill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towns. All we need is 11 fear. Land thrashes in a furious pain. We do have the free moon. We have earth, earth. So we could combine that with unleash. And we could almost threshold unleash as well. Unleash is really strong thresholded. So I do like being able to combine that with living obsidian. The only problem is... Oh yeah, no, we just add a presence here. And then we just do threshold, just double use it here. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of our 11 fear. Yeah, okay. This is the play. We go boom, boom. Growing here. Threshold both of them. We need to add our G3 presence here so we have a sacred site because it's a range 0 sacred site targeting. But we can bring that back in later. In the short term, let's see. We just need to not take 4 blight is it. So we take 1, 2, and then stop this from blighting, and then we win. So we use that for our Incarna move. We'll find steal here because why not? We can forget a card to gain 8 energy and then spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll net gain 2 energy and kill all of this. We need to leave our Incarna there because it's going to build before it ravages. Okay, we have to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll just sacrifice you because you're going to die anyways. Got a blight land with or adjacent to buildings or sacrifice 2 presence. So that's easy since that's going to die anyways. Choose a land with disease. None. And then defend 1 per Dahan. Excellent. -1 damage per damage they have taken. 2 lands on each board and 2 lands matching a ravage card. 2 damage per land. Okay, okay. If only this wasn't building. So, yeah, 2 damage. We could just do bam, bam, and then, you know... Oh, shit. We don't get that city. That was supposed to be the 2 explorers. Okay. Build in the Sands Wetlands. Okay, Ravage in the Jungle Sands. Does not participate. Mountain build. Wetland build. And exploring the jungles and wetlands. Okay. So now we will bring our Incarna in. We can also, you know, I don't know. We'll give it some, put some steel here using that Sun innate. And then we will Force of Living Obsidian. Adds a Badlands. There is no Dahan to push. Deal 2 damage to every invader, and then +1. And then we can repeat this power, so we're going to do 4 damage to every invader. Which should get us across that finish line with exact amount. Whew! Oh my gosh. Turn 10. Only 1 card left in the invader deck. Yeah, that took about as long as it can take. I guess we had 1 more fast phase. You know, not even close. Didn't even break a sweat. So yeah, that is Covets. So that was a tough matchup. Definitely really felt the extra health. We really needed the bonus damage just to get by with a lot of our 2 damage powers, and yeah, this fire innate just, it was never going to be good. So slinging lots of mages, really happy went up to the 5 energy here. I think that was the key of the game, was pushing ourselves up. Really happy with the skip option that we pulled. I think going for the Dahan, going for the Vigor, it's normally a really strong card. I think it would not have panned out super well. It has a lot less flexibility because you're restricted by where the Dahan are. And we never picked up any other Dahan options. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and have yourself a wonderful day.